Hey guys, welcome back.
Chat.
What's up, YouTube?
I guess y'all ready?
Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage.
Have you ever been alone in the woods and heard someone or something whistle? There's one rule. Don't whistle back.
Only when I'm walking through the nude camp.
Yep.
I may have to redo that. I don't know.
Hey there,
Creeping
listeners.
through there with your camera.
No, I don't do that. You know. These get worse every time.
Yeah.
They just fall off the rails quicker.
It really does. I wonder whose fault that is. Hey there, listeners, and welcome back to Fear and Flame Podcast. I'm Brooklyn.
I'm Mason.
Wyatt.
And today we're talking about hearing whistling after dark. So, strike a match, light a candle, and settle in. This one is sure to ignite some fear.
I'd be scared to whistle anyways. And I mean, you don't even know who you're whistling at.
Exactly.
You know, she may be a foal.
She might be a fool.
Oh my
You gotta be careful.
It's dark out.
You can't tell.
The only times I've ever been hit on are gas stations pumping gas, you know, when sometimes it's a little dark and
Hey, it's the 15-foot rule, you know.
a warning that shows up in a lot of outdoor and rural communities. If you hear whistling in the woods, don't whistle back. It's usually not explained in detail, but most people who mention it treat it as something you're supposed to follow. Similar to other informal rules about being in remote areas. But when you start looking into it, the same patterns seem to come up repeatedly. People who report these experiences tend to describe the whistling in a specific way. Usually sounds human, but slightly off. Not distorted enough to immediately seem unnatural, but different enough to focus on it. The sound itself is described as something coming from a distance, and it's difficult to judge typically. It doesn't feel close, but it also doesn't echo like a normal whistle would. It seems deliberately placed just outside of their line of sight. Another consistent detail is timing. The whistling happens alone or in a quiet environment and tends to stop if ignored for long enough. The part that stands out most is what happens when someone responds. If a person whistles back, the sound returns, and it usually matches the same rhythm or pattern, but not perfectly. There's usually a slight delay or a subtle difference in tone. It's described as imitation rather than a natural response. The whistling continues and appears to move closer over time. Some say that the sound changes position as if it's circling or shifting between different points in the woods. So, you know, like, you can't quite determine where it's at, but it's
circling. It's hunting.
it's hunting.
Circling.
It's going
It's
for you.
circling.
It's getting downwind.
These stories are usually associated with heavily wooded regions. One of the most commonly talked about, especially on social media and everything, is the Appalachian Mountains, but it's all over the place. In that region specifically, the idea of not responding to unexplained sounds in the woods is treated less like superstition and more like practical advice. Variations of the same warning appear in other rural areas, especially among people who spend a lot of time outdoors, such as hunters or hikers. There are also indigenous traditions where certain sounds in the wilderness are understood to be misleading or intentionally deceptive. The emphasis is usually on avoiding engagement rather than identifying the cause. Basically, what not to do.
I don't think I'd walk into Appalachian woods past like 3 p.m.
No.
to be honest. I mean, I don't, that's not where I belong.
And I feel like this is so oftenly talked about. It's not even for like the creepy paranormal aspect of it. It's just so dangerous. Like, you can get lost so easily. There's so many different animals out there. And it's just not a safe place to be.
No.
Not a safe place to be.
I
I
mean,
heard somebody told me a story, or I might have heard it on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure it was a customer that we dug a pond for, told me one about like in those mountain ranges and stuff, or even in like some of the mountain ranges in Oklahoma and stuff like that, just because, you know, a lot more seclusion. People are just kind of different, mean you're more uncomfortable in those areas. And he was telling me about, like, if a neighbor had done something wrong to another neighbor, or they were having issues and stuff like that, there was things that they would have happen. You might find your dog dead or something. Or he said one of the things that they would do in that area that he had been around is turn your water faucet on at night, like your outdoors water faucet on. And then when you come outside to shut it off, they'd either get you then or, you know, it was just a thing to kind of let you know.
Like, hey, I'm about to get,
Like
about
we're
to get
having
ya.
issues kind of deal.
which is even more scary because it's a physical presence that can actually really hurt you.
Yeah.
Isn't that so sick? I have, so
What are you
this
gonna
is
do?
so dumb. Yeah.
You gonna call 911?
Yeah, they're not coming. There's a show. So I was watching all the dumb, you know, like TLC type shows or whatever. After I watched the Amish show, there's this show that was called like Off the Grid or whatever. Like these people, it just shows them like living off the grid. And there's these two neighbors who are like fighting for their turf. It's like in the desert and stuff. And they're like, quit running them horses through here. This is my part. And so they're just like going back and forth. Guy comes up to the house like with a gun saying he's gonna shoot his wife. Like it's just all this crazy stuff. But I'm sure like stuff like that probably happens a lot in those areas because nobody's gonna do anything until it's too late.
He talked about a couple of his buddies were looking at a piece of land out there. It was like a pretty decent sized sect, like 150 acres or 200 acres or something. And it had went up for sale, so they went in there and kind of were hiking around it to check it out. And they found a skeleton chained to a tree out there.
Oh my
A
gosh.
human skeleton chained to a tree out there. Just out in the middle of nowhere in the woods.
Yeah. Well, I'd ask for a discount.
I'm not going to be buying this. Yeah. That'd be in the offer for sure.
I'd be like, well, this really wasn't disclosed previously, but if we take another 50,000 off, then
I can
I
consider
think
it.
that'd be fair.
What do you do? Do they call the police or anything? Or?
I think they did.
Yeah.
But it was like, he said that there around the tree was like it was dug down like a ditch around the tree. And there was the bark and stuff had been, you could tell where
Ripped
the
off.
bark had grown back after it
Oh,
had
dang.
been taken off around the base of the tree.
Did they think that skeleton was really, really old? Like, was it
It was older,
literally just
pretty
bones?
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just bones. There was nothing left
Oh,
there. No
that's
clothes or
disgusting.
anything.
Hate that.
Well, I mean, heck. Probably happened a while ago, so the police probably are just like, well,
Yeah.
I'm
Who
sure they
knows how
did
long
testing
ago.
and stuff, try to figure it out, but that's crazy. So some possible explanations before we get into reading stories, things that people think that could be causing the whistling in the woods. So everybody has different opinions and thoughts. The first of which is the Wendigo. So some versions of folklore include elements of mimicry or indirect interaction. They are trying to get your attention through sounds, like making noise and stuff. Skinwalker, which is different than the Wendigo. It's in a Navajo tradition. This is a witch that uses black magic. So skinwalkers are the ones that use black magic to turn into different things, typically animals, versus the Wendigo, which we know is like the cannibal monster.
yeah.
But they're able to transform and they can do imitation. It's important to note that the beliefs are kind of culturally specific and not discuss normal things, but to them, like the skinwalker could be a possible explanation.
Yeah.
Something that I never thought of, and I don't know why I didn't think of this as one. I guess because I just think of Bigfoot as only doing like tree knocks and really loud noises and stuff. But a lot of people think that it's Bigfoot doing the whistling because they may be, I guess, intelligent enough to imitate noises and stuff. And they are very much about stalking and things like that. So people think Bigfoot's a big one. Obviously animals, like birds, things like that. More normal reasoning would be creatures and animals that are in the woods normally.
Yeah.
And then there's also a broader category of what people refer to as mimics, which we've talked about mimics before. They're just like their own little classification that's not a specific thing. Mimic might be its own entity, rather. But I also saw crawlers again. Crawlers came up when I was looking into all of this. And it's so weird because crawlers is like its own thing too, but it's newer. It's not something that's been around very long. So
It's been a while since we've talked about
The crawlers.
Has it not been?
yeah, we've never even done like an actual full episode on crawlers, but they're like their own subset of a new entity type of thing. And people are like, I was reading this Reddit post. It was like all these rules of different things you had to do if you had a crawler. Because basically it's like you're screwed if you have one.
Yeah.
It's like you have to like take all these certain measures. Like it's so much different than any other entity I've like read about. Someone has like, I had this whistling sound outside of my house. and this, and this has been happening. And this person was like, oh man,
It's over.
you got
It's
a crawler.
over.
You got a
Yeah.
crawler. This is all you can do. Good luck.
We won't see any replies from this.
Yeah.
Good luck, buddy. OP's already gone.
I hope he did not make it through the night.
Gosh.
So, now that we've discussed all this, I do have some stories of people who've heard whistling at night. So, I did also read a Reddit section that was like, all these people are posting TikToks and all these things about whistling in the woods. They said, it's not just the whistling in the woods, it's specifically the whistling in the woods at night.
Yeah.
That's when it's a big deal. So, if you guys want, we'll just do each read two and
Hit
go
it.
from there.
Yep,
All right.
sounds good to me.
This first user is Sienna Monroe. I was out on our
Sienna?
second
Is it
Sienna.
cinnamon
It's
or
like their name
Sienna?
is Sienna,
Oh,
but
okay.
it's Sienna Monroe. It's kind of funny. I like that username. I was out on our second story deck with my dog 1 year ago, just getting some fresh air. It was around 11 to 12 at night, and it was pretty chilly, and I was ready to go inside, but she had wandered off to another part of the deck. I called her name, and she didn't come. I called her again, nothing. Then I whistled with a sort of high-low-high tune. I then hear the exact whistle come back to me from the direction I was facing. The way I was facing, there was nothing for it to echo off of, just a wooden barn and then the woods. And more importantly, the sound was not an echo. It was crystal clear and sounded very close. I got the feeling of deep fear that many describe when they have encounters like this. I grabbed the dog and ran inside, and I have never whistled at night since, nor will I ever. Just last night when I was letting the dogs out around 11, in the woods in the same direction, I heard an incredibly strange and haunting sound. It was like metal scraping combined with a fox screeching. I'm in eastern Washington state and have never seen a fox around here, but even then that sound was anything but natural. It's things like this that make me want to move to the city.
What's an Eastern Washington state?
Nothing, I don't think.
Bigfoot. I'm just kidding.
Bigfoot, baby. No, man. I mean, well, and here's the thing: is I feel like I would have an irrationally amount of confidence if I was on a second story balcony for whatever reason. I've got the high ground
Yeah.
in that situation, so I would probably be a little bit more confident to try to figure out what was going down.
Yeah.
But
Would you whistle again?
that's the thing is I probably would once, but I don't know how many more times I do it until it's too late.
Yeah. At least try it once.
Because I wanted like, well, take a look, see what
It's
happens.
funny to me too is when people aren't thinking about it. Usually in these stories, it's like I was whistling for my dog to come back to the house, and then that's when they hear it and they just get that like sinking. Oh.
I'd definitely
Pretty nice.
try to do a patterned whistle.
And see if it can
And to see if it
bounce
could
back to you.
recreate it.
Yeah, that'd be the more interesting
And then
thing.
you'd feel sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'd just-
Then there's a problem.
Then I'm feeling not so well. This one is deleted, but it says, I know this thread is sort of old, but I had to answer this. In the 80s as a kid, my grandma's house.
I'd probably just do the Kill Bill whistle.
What is it?
I don't even know if I could do it.
I can't
anymore.
whistle.
I
If
believe
it could
that's
carry a
ain't it?
tune like
Yeah, no,
that,
that's perfect.
that long, you would be dead.
Oh, dude, they already got you.
Yeah,
They're like,
they can
no, I ain't done all
That
that.
ain't no mockingbird. He ain't got big enough lungs for that.
They just get tired. They made it, like, nah, it's over.
In the 80s as a kid, my grandma's house was in a neighborhood that had a big patch of undeveloped land by her property. Every time I spent the night, me and my grandpa would hear whistling at night, coming from the woods. The same two-pitch tone. Woo woo, woo woo, woo woo, woo woo. It was terrifying.
Sounds like a clock.
It came from the woods. I can't whistle, so.
Like the grandfather clock.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where nobody was, and this went on for years. Usually my sister and my granny would sleep in one bed at night, and me and my grandpa would sleep in the spare bedroom when we spent the night. Him and I heard this whistle so many times, and it scared him too. It was like a taunting whistle, or like a I see you, and the tone seemed to inflect.
If it's done for like 2 or 3 years, man, at what point are you just kind of like, well, it ain't got us
Do you
yet?
think a bird
Yeah, it
would
doesn't
stay
hurt you.
around that long? Like if it was a bird or something?
Could.
You think?
Maybe.
Good.
But even if it was like anything else, I mean, it ain't
Yeah,
done
it's
it
been
yet.
2 or 3 years.
I think it's because it was waiting for somebody to respond and nobody ever did.
Maybe.
Nobody took it up on its offer.
Maybe. I mean, how long do you wait? Do you ever do it? I'm asking you. How
Like
long
if
do you
I wait to kill somebody?
No.
Oh, the whistle back. Gum.
What are we talking about?
I thought you meant like if I was the entity. Like, how long are you going to hang out and see if somebody will respond?
We may need to
How
get
long
you
before
somewhere.
you whistle back?
Oh, I'm not going to whistle back.
How long till I murk somebody out and cold blood?
Jeez, I'm
You
with
know what I
Good
meant.
night,
You know
King
what I
Von.
meant. Affectionate Box 724. Whistling at night. I got the crap scared out of me in my Airbnb. Last winter, I stayed in a
Just
super...
being in an Airbnb
Yeah,
is terrifying.
That's already scary
It
enough,
really
man.
is. I've had... All of my most scary experiences have been in Airbnbs.
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm pretty sure Riley and I stayed in a haunted Airbnb in Gatlinburg. It was terrifying. I stayed in a haunted Airbnb in OKC. Terrifying. Lights on and off type.
I've never
fun
had a
stuff.
good experience
Yeah.
in an Airbnb.
Yeah. Last winter, I stayed in a super rural Airbnb for about a week. This happened the night before my last night there, and it's always like that too. It's like, I really gotta stay one more night. Really nothing odd happened the whole week. The woods were completely dark, and you couldn't see any lights from other houses, which was great for me. The whole place had huge windows all around looking into the woods, and that night I was walking around one of the rooms when I heard a quick, sharp whistle from outside. I genuinely don't get scared easily, but stuff outside in the night anymore, it was weird. The instant I heard it, I was so full of fear that both my eyes and nose started watering. I stood there kind of paralyzed for a second before I heard another whistle and just instantly went to close all the curtains and blinds and turned off the lights. I don't know why I felt the need to do that, but I sat there in the dark room on the floor so full of fear that my nose was dripping and tears were pooling into my eyes. I had the windows fully open so I could hear the whistle intermittently getting closer until it sounded like I was literally right outside and I was freaking out for some reason, which was freaking me out even more. I was straining to hear whether I could hear footsteps and whether it might be a person. I kept hearing weird noises, but nothing that sounded at all like a person walking. Nothing that sounded like anything discernible. That is pretty much it. I waited for what felt like forever until I hadn't heard the whistle for a long time and ended up crawling into bed and not looking out any of the windows. This event just stays in my mind because of how seemingly irrationally scared I was. I walk around in the woods at night regularly and have even ran into hunters and weird people, and not once have I been so scared and felt like that before. I silently sat on the floor with my nose and eyes dripping and kept thinking, why am I doing this? And I just could not make myself move and look out the window or do anything. Sorry, I'm struggling. I lived in this area for 25 years before that, and I'm very familiar with wildlife noises and don't believe any sound like that was a bird or animal.
Maybe.
It's just in the intense fear. Like, there's just
I think it's
something
the unknown.
weird about the
Yeah.
unknown, but the intense fear. If the window was open still after, no.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
I'm
I wouldn't
locking
even-
myself
yeah.
up in a room. Yeah, they were like, the windows were still open. I think they were scared. They just like closed the blinds and stuff, but I don't think they closed the window.
Probably not. I've never been so scared my nose
Starts
running.
dripping and
That's
your
it.
eyes are watering.
Yeah.
I haven't either. But
Man, I'd be
I hope I
scared.
never get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I promise you I'd be closing the window too. I wouldn't even be like, oh, I guess these blinds will do.
Yeah.
I'd be locking myself up in a room.
Good night.
You got it? That's that IT strength right there.
Yeah. I've
He
been
does them
working out.
laptop lifts one arm at a
I've been
time.
working out.
Push that RAM in. Pop.
Bow to go. All right. Is this me? This song already
to
went.
brighten that screen up.
I know.
Yeah, you can. I just have it low because I don't like the lighting. Yours is Ontario, Canada, I think
here
is
we
what
go.
yours, the first one is for you.
Okay. You got some
Oh,
updates you
you're gonna
gotta
have
run.
some fun words in there.
Oh, man. We're never going to make it through this story.
It's these Canadians, man.
It was all pretty normal, I
It's
think.
these Canadians. Well, then I hit these words. and
Can you
it's-
pronounce it like Canadians pronounce things, though?
No.
Yeah.
No, and I will not if I could. Okay.
Anybody related to the French doesn't deserve it.
All right. That's coming at us from Neb Chili 17. Thank you, Neb Chili, for your contribution.
I just love how he says contribution, like we're getting paid.
I know. We're just stealing this. It's all right. All right. Something whistled in the woods at me at night. Well, That is on theme. All right. I live in central Ontario, Canada, and one summer 3 years ago, I had taken a job opportunity in a small town up north in Muskoka. The town itself was a quaint and quiet place surrounded by woods, water, and cottages. I worked in town during the day, and by night, I'd leave work to stay at one of the cottages owned by my boss and the business owner I worked for. The cottage I stayed in was shared by the owner and 3 other employees over the summer, surrounded by trees and forest with other cottages spread sporadically around the area.
Take a shot every time he reads cottage.
Cottage cheese when I do my cottage, this cottage. The property had the cottage on one side perched up on a rock face with a large set of stairs leading down to the lower section of the property that sat right along the local lake. On the lower section of the property, there was a boathouse followed by a sauna and a small separate building close by. Man.
That place is sick.
Yeah, they got a setup, dude. What in the world? I'd stay in the boathouse. I don't know what he's doing in the cabin. In the cottage. Excuse me.
Excuse you.
We worked long days from morning till dusk and would often use the sauna as a place to unwind and relax together. The sauna sat right in front of the lake, so it was great to get real warm and toasty in the sauna and then walk into the lake to cool off before jumping back into the heat. One night, after a long day of work, I had arrived back to the cottage late, around 11 p.m. Feeling more stiff and achy as usual, I decided that night would be a good night for some time in the sauna. I asked the others I stayed with if they wanted to join me in the sauna, but there were no takers as they decided to have a few drinks that night instead. No problem for me. I still wanted to go and took a solo trip down instead. After grabbing my swim trunks and towel, I headed out and walked down the large flight of stairs past the boathouse. I had arrived at the sauna. I turned the sauna on and took a seat to unwind in the heat. After about 10 minutes of heat and steam from stoking the rocks with water, I had felt it was time to cool off and reset myself. I opened the door to the sauna, the warm light from the lamp illuminating my way. I walked towards the dark lake. As I approached the lake, I slowly walked into the water as it was a bit cool that night. When I reached about knee level in the water, I was abruptly alerted by a loud and drawn-out whistling sound. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Whistle that.
I stopped dead in my tracks, full body tingling with goosebumps, and scanned the area for what possibly could have been. Nothing but trees, darkness, and the small amount of light illuminating from the sauna. My mind searching for logical answers, I assumed it was a local animal or one of my roommates playing a prank and trying to scare me as a joke. I brushed it off and whistled back a tone of my own. I whistled back, thinking nothing of it.
I believe that.
Oh, that's
I
what
bet it is.
Okay.
Something like that.
I gotcha.
Be my guess.
I was thinking like gust
Yeah,
of
for a
wind.
minute it was taken. I was trying to figure out how that would correlate into a whistle, but I'm guessing it's a...
Okay. Thinking nothing of it. Almost immediately after I stopped whistling, I heard the exact same tone whistled back to me from the tree line. Came right back in my direction, and I thought to myself, that couldn't possibly have been an animal. It perfectly copied my tone and cadence. So I chopped it up to being my roommates. I whistled again in a more sporadic and bizarre way this time to see if it would copy me again. I whistled into the darkness. Instantly, I received the exact whistle back. Not a single beat missed, and this time closer than ever. See, and I couldn't even do it twice. So, a spine-chilling cold drew over my body. It felt like every hair on my body was standing straight up, and every drop of blood from my limbs escaped me. Paralyzed in fear, I had no explanation for that sound, and my only reaction was to leave everything behind and make it back to the cottage as soon as possible. I booked it back up the stairs and into the cottage, only to see every one of my roommates sitting around the table with no signs of having left for outside. I tried to calm myself and ask them if anyone had been out there and heard whistling. Everyone said, no, we've been sitting here the whole time, and silence fell over the room. Well, there you go. What do you think?
Even if it's not an animal or something, if that is another person, that is so creepy.
It's weird.
It's very creepy. Okay, if that's not something supernatural, that is a creep out there in the woods watching me.
I hate that's the best answer, is that hopefully it's just a human in that.
Just a pervert.
But that's worse. I feel like it's worse.
I don't know, man. I think if some giant like wood monster was whistling at me, I think I wouldn't like that either. But
Yeah.
Out of all of the creatures, which one would be your preferred?
None of
Crawler, mimic, Wendigo, skinwalker, Bigfoot.
I guess Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He seems the least intimidating.
Yeah,
Which is-
I don't think I could
He's
take him to a
huge.
fight, but
yeah,
I think that
they
it's
say
like,
some Bigfoot stories they're kind in.
yeah, I think I've
never
got a
heard
better
of 'em.
Like
chance.
he'll give you
Yeah.
like a Snickers bar
Or a beef
big,
jerky.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe he has some really good glue to give me. But I think that Wendigos, they kind of just eat you.
Yeah.
I think is their whole deal. And
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't want to get replaced either by a mimic. So
By
I think
something else. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll take
fair.
a Bigfoot. I
All the
think.
things I do see about Bigfoot, some of them are territorial and like want to kill people, but most of
Yeah.
the time I think they're just nosy, like curious and want to see how you react type of
Yeah.
thing.
Because I think it's just the closest thing to just like an animal.
Like a
if
primate.
an animal had,
Yeah.
found me and was trying to make noise, just maybe a little smarter. But if it's like an evil witch that's trying to take my face, then yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll take Bigfoot.
I agree.
Okay, so from Certain Intention 594, that's a little ominous. Thank you. I whistled in the woods and something whistled back. Unidentified encounter. This is a true story.
I love it when they always preface that this is a true
I
story.
believe you
Know me,
immediately.
I wouldn't lie.
They'd never lie on the internet. I've never seen one. Okay. About 2 years ago, my boyfriend at the time and I decided to go on a hike right before the sunset. Which, yes, sounds dumb, but it's something we've done multiple times before with no issues. That's like a normal human thing
They
to
said,
do.
sounds dumb.
I know. I hate Reddit.
So dumb,
Oh my
but
gosh.
we've done it before.
Yeah, we've had like a romantic walk before. You know, we don't do it very often.
It's
but-
always my significant other
Yes.
at the time. You never
At
read
the
a
Yeah,
time.
it's never the same. Yeah.
No.
It's like I wonder, huh?
Gosh,
That's
man.
peculiar.
I love Reddit. Okay. There was something about the eeriness of the woods at night that I liked. Not so much my boyfriend, though. You didn't like your boyfriend?
Well, they said at the time.
Yeah, that's what it say at the time. To start our hike, we had to go through really tall plants and bushes. We were practically in the middle of nowhere. About a mile into the hike, we came across some abandoned structures and sat down to take another breather. Not sure exactly what my boyfriend said to make me do this as a joke, but I whistled and said, "See, nothing whistled back. We're alone." Not even 20 seconds after saying that, we heard a whistle.
Yeah, you did yourself dirty there.
It was a bit of a ways from us, but we were still too close for our liking. We immediately started booking it in the option direction of the whistle and didn't look back. Not a good idea.
No.
Yeah, don't
Yes,
run.
we're in the middle of the
Don't run.
woods. Let's leave. Yes, no, that's exactly what I would do if I ever got scared in the woods.
Just
I'd
crazy.
immediately get lost.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Create as much noise as you can.
Make it as difficult as possible to get out of the situation. It's fine. After running for as long as we could, we realized we were lost. Well, yeah.
I always, the first thing
why.
that like I was reading through all of these, it was like, never run. If you hear this, like walk fast.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like don't start running because if it is
Yeah.
an animal or something
Let's alert it to our location as soon as we can.
or a creep.
As obviously as we possibly could, and let's get lost in their territory.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Gosh, man, I love Reddit. Okay. After running for... Okay, I already said that. Okay. We wandered around for about 10 minutes before we stumbled across some train tracks that led back into town about a mile or two down the way. It's important to note that these tracks had thick woods lining both sides. The right side's where we came from. At this point, we were walking as we'd run out of energy and felt safe. We were wrong to assume that we were safe. We got to the point where we could see the lights from town, maybe a quarter to a half mile away. Down the tracks a little bit, we could very faintly see the outline of what looked to be a deer coming out of the right side of the woods. It stopped in the middle of the tracks and just stood there. I attempted to shine my flashlight. No, this flashlight was pretty dim. It was a random one I found back in the back of the junk drawer.
Best kind to take with you out.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I need at night. Gosh, guys. Okay. On it, but as soon as I lifted my light up, it fled. Now, I say fled because ran would not be an accurate way to describe the way that it moved. The best way I can describe is that it looked like it had 4 broken legs and its body was very low to the ground, yet it had unbelievable speed. It looked almost like a bent and twisted monster out of a horror movie. I shined my light into the woods. To the left of us, that's where it had ran, when I did see two glowing eyes that looked to be at least 10 feet in the air. My boyfriend said, "What is that?" in a very concerned tone.
Imagine seeing a Wendigo.
That's like normal.
Wendigo in the free. Oh,
I'm not sure.
That is.
I'm not sure. Gosh, I don't know. Don't look at it. Just run. We ran and ran until eventually we reached town and walked back home.
Yeah, you
so
said
you
it was like
already
a quarter
ran.
to a half mile out of town, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ain't even that much running.
And here's the deal. Well, I think they ran the other way.
I think they were lost.
Did they run the other way?
They were lost.
Let's see. Did they? I'm curious.
They don't know
to
where
see.
they ran, I don't think.
Well, we got to the point where we could see like, yeah, maybe a quarter to a half
Down
mile
the track.
away.
So it was a little confusing because I'm not sure if they meant down the tracks, like on the tracks that they were facing, like towards the town was when the deer came out. And they just walked past it, I guess, or ran
to break
past
it to
it.
you, but that ain't a deer. That is not a deer.
Like, I don't know. I don't know what these guys are thinking.
Now I understand why she was like, it was stupid of us to go on in a romantic hike towards the end of the day.
But
We
how
know
dark
better
was it?
now.
No, see, that's not what's stupid. What happened was you
don't
just
have a
ran.
real, you don't have a
Yeah.
real flashlight.
Yes, and you just ran into
Ran
the
and got
woods.
lost.
Yeah.
Whistling in the first place and then saying out loud, see, no, nothing's out
happened.
here.
Yeah, you're
Nothing
asking
we're out-
for it. I mean, come on, guys. Like, seriously, when have you ever been in the middle of the woods and got scared and thought, I need to get lost as soon as I can? As quickly as possible. I need to have no idea where I'm at. Okay.
Exactly.
This happened about 2 years ago, and I've tried to come up with logical explanation after logical explanation of what I saw that night, and still to this day I can never find a solid logical answer other than it being something paranormal. I refuse to believe what I had seen for a long time, but I know what I saw, and I know I'm not crazy, as there was another person that witnessed the same thing as me. My boyfriend never spoke of it again and refused to speak about it when I would talk about it. I never went hiking at night after that day. Who does? Who's like, yeah, let's go on a night hike. That sounds like a great idea. No, I don't know. Listen, I think moral of the story, if you're going to go into the woods, go into them during the daytime. Mm-hmm. And if you think you're going to run into a paranormal monster, I guess just hope for the best to walk backwards down the other way of the path.
Go back towards safety.
Yeah, and maybe not just let's book it in this other direction.
Yeah, probably not wise.
Because you're probably just going to do circles the whole time, but it's whatever. Who cares?
They made it out. That's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, it's Darwinism, you know. They make it out, they don't. Or better or worse.
Big E from the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Biggie. Biggie.
Whistles in the forest, unexplained. This is a relatively short story. I pretty much signed up to Reddit so I could share this. Me and my buddy still have no idea what happened. This was a couple years back in my hometown. I grew up in a very small farming village in northern Ontario. A lot of Canadians, huh?
Yeah, man.
In cottage season.
Yeah.
Well, what is it with
So
them and
funny.
cottages?
The cottage. Cottage season had just ended, so it left most dirt roads like mine empty for the most part. The house I grew up in was surrounded by dense forest. I had a friend over because my mother went out for the night, so we decided to do the usual. Smoke copious amounts of weed and play video games. That's all there is to do in Ontario.
Oh, yeah.
Midnight was approaching, so I thought it would be a good idea to take the dogs outside to do their last business for the night. We let the dogs out and watched them run into the forest and decided to have a cigarette while we wait. About 10 minutes went by, so I think it would be a good time to call them back. I gave a sharp whistle, waited a couple moments before giving another whistle. I see my Great Dane and little pug come running around the dark corner. All of a sudden, I heard a sharp whistle exactly like mine, almost like a mock whistle, came from about 15 feet from us in the dark forest. 15 feet's awful close.
It's too close for comfort.
15 feet, you just about ought to be able to see it. Me and my friend both looked at each other at the same time, looking like we had just seen a ghost. The dogs, instead of barking, whined and perked their ears up, which was unusual for those two. We ran back to the other side of the house, back up on the deck, calling the dogs. Just as we were all about to get inside, I heard another sharp whistle this time. It was very abrupt and sounded like it was almost under our deck stairs. My pug started to head towards the stairs, dodged me out, but luckily my friend grabbed her before she got to the end of the deck. We got inside, locked all the doors, and stayed up literally all nights with bats and a horrible sword I got at a fall fair one year. Which I'm assuming it's like a Ren fair or something. The thing we thought was incredibly weird was the fact that when we took off running, whatever whistled back got under my deck or stairs without making a noise and startled both my dogs. If it was a person, that's really freaky. Why were they out in my forest when there's literally no houses near me for a couple kilometers?
Man, I mean, what, like...
That's the weird thing is it's always like things move to where like impossible. Like it's
But granted, like 15 feet, yeah, that sucker probably could just like a good running start and a slide.
Yeah.
Probably there. That's not that far.
15 feet's very close.
So I'd say, man, they were really adamant on getting them dogs inside. I got to tell you, man, if they're not coming in,
Mason, you just leave your dog to get
listen,
ate up?
dude. I mean, if it's a Wendigo, he's probably not even interested in the dog. He's probably just looking at me. It's like a polar bear. Okay,
You just leave your dog.
they're looking at me. I'm like a hamburger, son.
Yeah. You got a
All
Great
right.
Dane. I'd hope the Great Dane would be.
Would maybe ward it off.
The Great
Yeah.
Dane wasn't. The little pug was the one that was going to jump off the
mean,
porch to
shoot,
get
son.
to it.
You
It'd be
know?
like Millie trying to
gotta earn
jump off
their
the
keep.
porch.
I mean, shoot, but yeah, I mean, I love dogs, but man, if they're trying to just jump into the mouth of the beast, then I mean,
Mason,
I'm not jumping after.
You're about to have some haters.
We're not both going down. I mean, no, I love dogs.
If it's true, that would be really creepy. If you think that somehow it's dark enough that 15 feet away in the woods you couldn't
couldn't
see
see
what
it at
whistled
all.
at you.
And then
'Cause
it
that'd
got
be like
underneath your deck.
I mean, the width of a front room,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's even scarier if like you should be able to.
and you can't.
And you can't.
You don't
just
have
hear the
any
sound.
lighting. If you're out in the country too, they probably don't have like telephone poles with lights and stuff. How we do, like super close to our house. It goes probably
in
further.
Canada, they probably don't have electricity
They
at
have
all.
Yeah,
electricity.
they live in there. Man, I'm surprised their igloo had a deck even. That was impressive.
I didn't mean that, but like it's this built. The setup is probably a little bit different. I would
Yeah.
It
think.
might be, but I bet they've got outdoor lights on their electric poles.
You know what? I will finish it with this though. It depends on how much I like the dog. If it's a really cool dog, if it's a dog that's really cool and chill and we get along really well, then
You're gonna risk it for
maybe I'll like lose an arm or whatever. Maybe we both go down with the ship. But if it's like a dog that's kind of just like, that's kind of a crap. Yeah, I mean everybody's had one crappy dog. Let's be real. Everybody's had one dog. And
You're like,
they still
wouldn't
love.
be the worst thing.
They still love, but it's just like, well, that's a shame. That's a shame.
Move
man.
on to the next story. Mason's gonna get
Controversial
roasted.
opinions.
I'm just saying. I mean, my parents used to have. I wasn't around, but they used to have this little Chihuahua. Just a mean-o sucker. Just a mean-o
Aren't
dog.
they all?
And just a bad dog. Just not a good dog. But it's kind of. I mean, you still love the
'em,
dog.
yeah.
It's still your dog. But it's just one of those things where it's just like. Like you'll miss them, but maybe not like all the time. You'll miss parts of it.
Right.
Mojo Joe 15. Don't whistle at night. My parents used to send my brother and I to spend our summer vacations in my dad's ranch in Mexico. We worked in the mountainside near the ranch house, and we would have our dinner in the main house, which was a mile walk up towards a rock-paved road uphill. We often worked further up a mountain with a stream. After a long day of herding and fishing, we were making our way back towards the ranch. It was already dark, and my cousins and I were having a casual conversation. I don't know why I started absent-mindedly whistling. This caused a sudden reaction from my cousins and brother, who all stopped in silence to stare at me. I asked why not. My older cousin explained, "When you whistle at night, the devil whistles back." I rolled my eyes.
Honestly, though,
I rolled my eyes at this. I never believed in ghosts or anything like such. As a kid who enjoyed watching horror movies, so being an annoying little brat, I started whistling again. I saw that it genuinely spooked them. One of my cousins even ran up the hill ahead of us. I laughed at them and kept whistling until they all left me behind. Finally, all alone, I made my way up the hill. All I could hear was the wind and the sound of croaking toads. Until eventually, I hear a whistle. Thinking it was one of my cousins messing with me, I did it. I whistled back, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up because I heard the whistle again. This time right behind me, so close it was like whoever was whistling was only inches away. I don't think what it was that...
Take your time.
He's got his. It's not me. It's his sentence structure. I don't know what it was that told me not to turn around, but I didn't. I decided to pick up my speed. I wonder what it is that told you not to turn around. Maybe
What was that?
Yeah, that something just whistled and it felt like it was inches
Literally on
behind
your
back.
neck.
I decided to pick up my speed. I could already see the lights of the house and hear the voices of family. When I heard it again, the whistle and the sound of hooves on the rock road, I decided to run and yell for my brother. He came running outside and I ran into the house blubbering about what I had heard. I turned around and my brother said he saw nothing, but he did admit to me years later that he heard the sound of hooves, which had alerted him to go check outside, thinking one of the horses had got loose.
Not good.
That was it.
What's got hooves?
Wendigo.
Wendigo? Yeah.
Goat man.
Or
Probably
goat-
probably like if we were to rank who
The
did I
worst
want
one.
who did I want to face the least, I think he might be number one.
Because it's deer, like they're usually are deer type of. That would be my guess. Like
Yeah,
with
he's up
hooves.
there, man. He's up there.
Here's the thing: is whenever something like like the whisper by your neck, or like if somebody like talks like whispers like
I
right
hate
next
it.
to you, behind you, or by your ear, like that is one
I
of
hate
the
feeling people's
worst.
breath on me.
Yeah,
That's
and, like
that
making
either.
your neck, your hair go up like that. Oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like
Yeah.
that at all. At all.
If I felt somebody whistling on me, oh god.
Ooh, yee.
Nah.
I would trip over. I would die.
Yeah, I'd
I wouldn't
probably
make
be
it.
moving pretty quick.
I wouldn't make it to the house.
But I've never heard a whistle in the woods.
You haven't? Have you ever tried whistling?
No. Why
I've
would
whistled
I?
like if
Sing
you're
song, but at night
no
though.
at night, like if I was hunting deeper in the woods than a buddy, as I was coming up and getting close to like his stand,
Mm-hmm.
I'd usually whistle. And then wait for him to whistle back. That way, like you never know if somebody's
That could end up
had a weird
really
evening
bad.
Or something. they might be creeped out or something like that. It's
Yeah.
best to just let them know, like, hey. So we'd always whistle. So like if somebody was deeper in the woods than me, then I'd usually wait for them to get to me before I started heading out, and they'd get close and they'd whistle. And I'd
Do
whistle
you
back
feel
and be
like,
hey,
because
here
this
we go.
is one of the biggest things that people argue about, like how sound travels through the woods? Don't you think it is really weird how sound travels through the woods?
I mean, it
enough
can
to
be.
feel like something's maybe going around you instead of.
Definitely if you're in hilly areas or creek, you
Mm-hmm.
got creeks and stuff like that. Creeks can make noise, kind of
Sound really weird.
sound weird, move it around.
Reverberate or whatever around you.
Or at least he hopes so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's like I whistled and something whistled back, but it wasn't my buddy.
That'd be what I'd be concerned about. Not good.
Like I'm over here. Hey.
Yeah, I just yell. I'd be, hey man, hey, it's me. I'm down here. I'm coming. No, I don't know. I don't know if the whistle would be the go-to for it. I don't know.
Caw-caw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. We usually whistled, but like speaking, sometimes some people like you don't want to talk in the deer woods. Like if it's an area that you're hunting a lot or whatever.
Scare them off.
Yeah.
Just you don't want talking. Some people don't like talking. Some people like if there's deer under your stand when it's dark, and you want to leave, you'll bark at them like a dog or something, or blow at them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because you don't want them to like
Scare the deer off?
Attribute the sound you make to being a human. You don't want to be like, "Hey, get out of here," because that's not a sound they're used to hearing in the woods. So you might bark at them because the neighbor's dogs chase them, or you might blow at them like you're a deer alerting.
How do you blow?
Like,
Really?
Kinda like
It's like
that.
a shh.
'cause that's what they do.
Let's hear you bark like a dog.
No, I've never barked at them, but I've seen people.
Really?
I've seen Dad bark at them.
What does Dad sound like when he's barking at him?
I ain't gonna bark on the internet.
That's funny. Mason, you do it.
I'm not barking.
He said, "I'm good."
I'm not barking. If it was unprompted, I'd maybe think it's funny. I'm not barking. That's what asked me to bark.
Well, guys, just as a warning, the one rule always is to never whistle in the woods at night. Don't whistle at dark, just in general.
If you want to just like run deep into them for no reason, then you do that. That's just fine. Nobody cares. I wouldn't whistle.
If you do it though, make sure to comment below and let us
Yes,
know
find
how
out.
it goes.
Let us know. I
Make a
mean,
video,
we could do
post
like a
it.
live update in the middle of Appalachia.
Yeah.
Don't think I'm gonna make it out. Send help, and we'll read it on the next episode if you want us to. Come back. Oh man, hope that guy got out.
Yeah.
Well, Wyatt, do you want to read our outro? I know I usually do
I
it, but it's
can.
right there.
Thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. Have you heard whistling at night? Leave a comment or email us. See you back here next time, Flamers.
Man, we need to get you on QVC, dude. I mean, like a natural.
Nice.
See ya.
Bye.